Peace. What's up, everybody? Again, this is Jay Everyday, and today I'm going to talk about the Universal Genetic Database. The Universal Genetic Database isn't a real thing just yet, but with the rise of these do-it-yourself DNA kits, these ancestry websites, and just a marketplace to where you can swab your mouth and send your genetic material off to some place that you don't know, hasn't been vetted. What's ultimately happening is your DNA is on file somewhere. Now, the liberals and the people that are just stuck in a framework, what they're going to say is, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you have to worry about? Why should I care if somebody has my genetic fingerprint? It's just like a fingerprint, isn't it? Here's the thing. They haven't described it or put a name on it yet as the Universal Genetic Database, but ultimately that's what it's going to be. You have places on both the West and the East Coast that's going to gather, create data files, create metadata to hold this information. And ultimately what they're going to be able to do is they're going to be able to type in a name, and they will have your genetic fingerprint for whatever they want to use it for. See, most people looked at, why is DNA mapping so important? What's going to happen as a result of DNA mapping? They've gotten to a point now to where by certain genetic markers they can tell if you're predisposed for cancer, Alzheimer's, dementia. They're only scratching the surface with this. And you have to remember, whatever they tell you, they're probably 3 to 5 years ahead of what's known out to the public. The reason I bring up the Universal Genetic Database is recently in California they just caught what's called the Golden State Killer. Supposedly how they said they caught him is one of his relatives have put their information into an ancestry site and they were able to backtrack it to him because somehow they had his genetic fingerprint on file. Now, while most people say that's fine, they call the killer. Yeah, they call the killer. They caught a killer. But like all things, what's to stop it from being corrupted? What's to stop someone from using your genetic fingerprint for whatever they deem necessary? We all know that innocent people go to jail every day and guilty people go free daily too. There are so many applications and so many different ways that a genetic database that can be used that I think people really don't have an idea of what's coming. Let me give you a couple examples. Insurance, medical and life insurance. Your rates can be determined based on what that genetic profile is. And the way Congress is opening up the laws for corporations, I see no reason why they would make that illegal or not make that information privy to the public. See, here's another thing. Here's another little mind fuck that the framework has for you. See, everybody talks about how bad Trump is and how, oh, we need to get someone in there to do this or to do this. Under each successive president, privacy laws, contract laws, your rights are slowly being eroded. So when the topic of freedom comes up, in a minute, the only people who are going to have freedom is corporations. See, they'll give you what's called tertiary freedom, which means it's freedom to a certain extent. Yeah, you can watch what you want, you can drink what you want, you can eat what you want. You can consume whatever you like. We're not going to regulate that. But laws respecting your privacy, laws involving contract and what you're able to fight for as an individual, your individual rights are being eroded. Getting back to the universal database, so I said insurance, right? So someone can look at your genetic fingerprint and decide, yeah, this is how much insurance I'm going to allow you to have. And if you think there won't, you talk about collusion with the president, you think there won't be collusion between these insurance companies, why do you think they have conferences for everything? There will be a conference and they will decide how, on a grading scale, they're going to do that. Okay, your insurance. Criminal and civil cases. Birth, rape, sexual assault. All of those things will be in a genetic database too. They'll have your genetic fingerprint for those. Credit, job suitability, where you can live at. All of these things will be a part of determining how you live in the future based on your genetic fingerprint. See, what they're trying to do in the framework is you're going to put together your genetic fingerprint with your digital fingerprint and with your physical fingerprint, and they're going to have predictors and algorithms that can tell them your politics, your finances, your kinks, your health, and your future movements based on those things. See, when everybody talks about analytics and metrics and, oh, I can measure this and I can measure this, that's what they tell you analytics is. That's what they tell you analytics is being used for now. These analytics and algorithms are actually being used to create a dossier and a file on you as an individual. And while most people think, yeah, the government is doing this and the government is doing this, yeah, absolutely, the government has a file on you. But what's more important is that information is being sold. That information is being tailored to specific companies so you can be targeted in ads, in email, on television, in order to entice you to consume. They want to continue to make you be a consumer. Not a creator. All consumers do is eat, take, and that's it. Creators and suppliers are the one that creates a market for people to consume. The genetic database is a way for people to be identified and to tie back into the framework, and that information is used for those various purposes. You have people out here who think, oh, this is just some conspiracy theory crap, or this is just something you read in a book. Okay. You keep believing that. Keep on thinking that hospitals that have your genetic material, when you get arrested, when they have your genetic material, the dentist, when he has your genetic material, when you take a P-test, a drug test rather, I don't want to say a P-test, but when you take a drug test, Ancestry, all of these different ways to collect your genetic material, keep on thinking that that's not being sold to someone. These things are real. These things are happening now as we speak. But like the movie The Usual Suspect says, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled is to make people think that he didn't exist. The devil is in the details. There's a reason those sayings are so prevalent. There's a reason why those sayings are so true. The devil is in the details. this universal genetic database isn't being used for altruism or to make the world a better place. It's another method of control and surveillance. That's it. Control and surveillance. It's just another form of it. But you better believe that there's going to be a way found to monetize it and to use it to reap a financial benefit for somebody. And there's going to be laws protecting it, supporting it, and basically open sourcing it for anybody with the money and resources to exploit the information. Just watch and pay attention. They'll probably announce it one day, or they'll announce something close to it. They may not call it the Universal Genetic Database, but they're going to call it something. And watch, you'll see it once it hits the scene. And it's just going to go over people's head because some entertainer will have done or said something that causes the world to shift their attention onto whatever that entertainer is saying or doing. We have it in place now. These are some of the greatest mind fucks that the world has ever seen. And they're not stopping. They will be continuing. So with that being said, definitely subscribe to the channel. You can contribute to the Patreon page. Leave me a comment. Whether you like it or you dislike it, you agree or disagree, leave a comment. I will answer it. And I will put it up on the site. Again, this is your boy Jay Everyday. And this discussion was about the Universal Database. And I'm gone.